This is the last ditch effort at trying to save an original 1960s straight six 250 cubic inch engine. We've spent weeks on this ring job. We should have already done a test drive, but she's just giving us fits. We're only getting oil up to one rocker. This valve train's as dry as the Tin Man, and we were thinking clogged oil passage or dirty lifters. We actually pulled the lifters out and cleaned them extra good, and then the one rocker that was getting oil changed. It was up there, I think, and then now it's this one. So we haven't figured that out. That's keeping us from getting out on the road. And this thing sitting here idling in just a few minutes gets so hot we could cook breakfast on it. We need to get this thermostat out first thing and test it with a heat gun. We need to figure that out. Oh. Well, there goes that gasket. Now that we know that the thermostat opens and it's good, we're going to drill a couple teeny tiny little holes in this thermostat. Hopefully that'll let trap air bubbles out. This is my favorite brand of coolant. It deodorizes your water jackets. Let me know when the water reaches the top of the thermostat housing. Let me know when you see it. So I want to stop right before it spills over. See anything yet? Just let me know. Well, what the heck? You didn't say anything. That's all done. Who knows if any of that nonsense is even going to work. But we'll find out, because we're going to fire it up right now and tackle the bigger issue, getting the oil up to the top. So I say let's let it run with the valve cover off, and we'll loosen some rockers up and see if we get some flowage up there. Got our remote starter switch ready, so I think we'll strangle her a little bit, give her a couple squirts, and let's rock and roll. Oh, you're not gonna believe this. Landed right on the starter and started sparking all over the place. We need to make some changes around here, fellers. We need to do the safe thing and no more tools sitting right there when the engine's running. They need to be right here. See, we're getting a little bit of oil now. And that first one, I'm gonna take some oil and I'm gonna try to get it down the push rod tube, every single one. So hopefully that can assist them in getting going. Can you guess what kind of oil this is that I run? Give you a hint. It's not Dasani. Let me exfoliate the tannins. Little hint of Diet Pepsi. Put it in the comments. This might make a mess all over our freshly painted engine, but gotta be honest, I don't really care right now. Looks like we got a couple of them working. Just a few. Let's back our face away from this flamethrower and give her some rhythm. Maybe we can build a little more pressure. But we also got to keep an eye on this. We still don't know if this thing's going to overheat yet or not. Watch my fingers here. It feels like the thermostat's open. Well, ooh, hold on. What's that look like? Did that go down? Here, I gotta get out and look, but I gotta do it without falling into this fan. I wanna see this thing start circulating. I don't know why it hasn't yet. Okay. Heater hoses are not hot. Down here they are. Just because it's close to all this stuff. This just pains me. After all that work, all those videos that we've made over the weeks, putting rings in this thing, and everything's all back together and in and so close to driving, and now we're tearing it apart. But we're no quitters. We're gonna take a look at this water pump and figure this out. We're Americans, gosh darn it. We're not just gonna, ow! Yep. Yeah, we're not just gonna lay down and die. We're gonna fight. Well, I just got back from a volleyball game. Still got my good shirt on, but I don't have time to change because we're gonna be eating in about an hour, so that's all right. I'll just be careful. I won't get anything on it. So I just flushed the radiator, and guess what? Everything works fan-damn-tastic now. I didn't see any chunks come out, but it did look like it ate Taco Bell. And I guess that was enough to slow down the water flowage. And of course this shirt didn't last 5 minutes. It's ruined my best Walmart shirt, dang it. So now that the cooling system is all taken care of, let's finally put a wrap on this oiling deal. Now at least we know we got some oil pressure because we've seen oil up at some of the rockers. And when I fired this thing back up after putting the radiator back in it, it won the classic family reunion game, peeing for distance. Guys, gotta admit, this oiling issue is a wee bit frustrating, and I'm about to just pull this engine and do a full, complete, proper rebuild because there's got to be something clogged in there, but that would be quitting, that would be spending money that we don't have, and it would defeat the entire purpose of this whole series of videos doing a cheap, at-home, do-it-yourself ring job, which was to save a guy and his family money and to prove that we can save these original parts. So I'm going to go out on a very thin limb here and our last hope and say that our problem is this. You either know right where I'm going with this or you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Put it in the comments if you know what I'm going to get at here with this distributor. This truck sat in the barn for 20 years before I got it. It is a true barn find, and I drove it for a long time with the distributor that was in it in the barn. But for some unknown reason, I decided to put a new distributor in. And of course, me being cheap, the distributor that I bought ended up being a Chinese one from the parts store, and oil was leaking past it, so I doubled up the gaskets. And I even mentioned this early on in this ring job series. And the crazy thing is, now I'm remembering a story of a guy from many years ago that bought a truck that wasn't getting oil up to the rockers. He brought it home, he's looking at it, he discovered it had 2 distributor gaskets on it. So he removed one and he started getting oil up to the rockers. I mean, I had a dog and its name was Bingo. Here's the Chinese distributor. I just pulled it out. Now, I can tell you right now, this slop here is not helping, and I think it was like that when I bought it. I don't know why I still put it in, but it might be skipping around in the oil pump drive, which is why we're not getting oil up to the rockers. And I already threw the original one back in, covered in grease. I still had it in a box. And this part right here is different. They're not the same. So I think our 2% chance might have went up to 2.5%. There she is installed, the original distributor from the barn, cap, rotor, everything just the way she was, and 1 gasket. And also, by the way, that coil and that fuel pump, those were on here in the barn as well. I never replaced those. A couple of them are getting oil, but not many. We'll give it a couple minutes here. Cross your fingers. This is our last hope. We got a couple more getting oil now, but I don't know, I'm kind of starting to lose hope on this. It's not looking good. Dude! It's working! I can't believe that worked. The one in the very back wasn't getting much oil, but I'm sure it'll be fine. She'll come around. We're going for a test drive, boys. And the only question is, hood or no hood?